Let's be honest for a second. The biggest threat to America might not be from some far-off land. It might not be an army marching across our borders. No, the scariest threats are the ones that come from inside the house. The ones that wear familiar uniforms and sit in the highest offices of our government. For years, we were told to trust these institutions. These were the pillars holding up our society. But what happens when the pillars start to crumble? What happens when the people sworn to protect you suddenly feel like the ones you need protection from? It's a scary thought, isn't it? It's like finding out your loyal guard dog has been secretly planning a hostile takeover of your living room. The trust between the American people and their authorities didn't just disappear overnight. It was a slow burn, a series of small cuts that eventually became a giant wound. We saw police officers, meant to serve and protect, involved in incidents that made us question their judgment and their motives. We saw the military, our nation's defenders, used in ways that felt more political than patriotic. And we saw the government, the very body meant to represent us, make decisions that seemed to benefit only a select few. It's like being in a relationship where you slowly realize your partner has been lying to you for years. The trust is gone, and getting it back feels almost impossible. This isn't just a feeling, it's a reality that has been shaped by the actions of our leaders. When a president, like Donald Trump, questions the integrity of our elections or seems to cozy up to our adversaries, it sends a powerful message. When politicians, like Marsha Blackburn, push policies that appear to undermine the very freedoms they swore to uphold, people notice. These actions create a deep sense of unease. They make people wonder who these authorities are truly working for. Are they working for us, the citizens? Or are they serving their own interests, their own power, and their own agendas? It's a question that now hangs heavy in the air. So now we're left in a strange place. The institutions we were raised to believe in, the police, the military, the government, are viewed with suspicion. We've seen them fail us, and we've seen them used as tools for political gain. The very people who were supposed to guarantee our safety and freedom now seem like a potential threat to both. This isn't just about a few bad apples. It's about the entire system feeling compromised. It's a profound and unsettling shift in the American psyche. We have come to realize that the guardians of our democracy might just be the ones trying to burn it down from the inside, leaving us all to wonder who we can possibly trust. For so many people, this whole situation feels like a deep personal betrayal. Imagine growing up believing in a beautiful story, a story about a land of the free and a home of the brave. You're taught that the police are your friends, soldiers are heroes, and the government is a force for good in the world. You believe this with all your heart. Then one day, you start to see the cracks in that story. You see videos on the news that don't match the fairy tale. You hear politicians say things that make you feel like you're living in a completely different country than the one you were told about. It's a jarring, disorienting experience. This feeling of betrayal cuts deeper than most people realize. It's not just about being disappointed in a politician or angry about a new law. It's about feeling like your entire understanding of your country was a lie. You start to question everything. Was America ever truly the land of the free? Or was that just a clever marketing slogan? This is the emotional fallout of broken trust. People feel foolish for believing so strongly in something that now seems like a sham. It's like finding out your favorite superhero was the villain all along. The sense of disillusionment is overwhelming and leaves a permanent scar on the national consciousness. This growing distrust has created two different Americas. In one America, people still hold on to the old beliefs, trusting that the system, despite its flaws, is fundamentally good. In the other America, people see a system that is fundamentally broken, designed to benefit the powerful at the expense of everyone else. And these two Americas are drifting further and further apart. The shared reality we once had is fracturing. We can't even agree on basic facts anymore, because our trust in the sources of information, the government, the media, has been so completely eroded. It's a dangerous and lonely place to be. The idea that our freedom isn't always real is a tough pill to swallow. We're told we have freedom of speech, but then we see protesters treated with force. We're told we have a right to privacy, but then we learn about widespread government surveillance. It starts to feel like our freedoms are conditional, given to us when it's convenient and taken away when it's not. This isn't the freedom we were promised. It's a counterfeit version, a hollow imitation of the real thing. And the realization that we've been living with this illusion is what fuels so much of the anger and frustration we see today. People feel like they've been cheated. We often hear that freedom isn't free. It's a phrase we see on bumper stickers and hear in patriotic speeches. It's meant to honor the sacrifices made for our country. But what does that phrase really mean today? For generations, Americans have been willing to pay the ultimate price for their country. They have sacrificed their time, their health, and even their lives. They did so with the belief that they were defending a noble cause, protecting a way of life that was just and fair. They believed they were fighting for the ideals of liberty and justice for all. It was a sacrifice made with honor and purpose. But now a painful question is emerging. Was that sacrifice worth it? For the soldiers who spilled their blood on foreign soil, for the families who waved goodbye to their loved ones for the last time, this is not an academic debate. They look at the state of the country today, and they see political division, corruption, and leaders who seem to betray the very principles they fought for. They see the freedoms they defended being eroded from within. It's a heartbreaking realization. They start to wonder if their sacrifice was made for a country that no longer exists, or perhaps never existed in the first place. This sense of betrayal is especially pointed when directed at political leaders. People see figures like Trump or Blackburn, and don't just see politicians they disagree with. They see traitors. They see people who have taken an oath to defend the Constitution and then acted in ways that seem to tear it apart. When leaders prioritize their own power over the well-being of the country, it feels like a stab in the back to every person who has ever made a sacrifice for America. It taints the memory of their service and makes them question the very foundation of their patriotism. The anger is raw and deeply personal. The cost of freedom has become too high, not in dollars, but in trust. The contract between the people and the government has been broken. We were told that if we made sacrifices, our leaders would protect our freedoms. But now, it feels like we made the sacrifices, and our leaders are the ones taking those freedoms away. This is the ultimate betrayal. The authorities we once trusted to keep us safe now feel like the biggest threat to our way of life. The anger is not just about politics. It's about a fundamental sense of being wronged by the very people who were supposed to be on our side. So where does this leave us? Can we ever trust our authorities again? If I'm being completely honest, the answer right now is filled with doubt. Trust is like glass. Once it's shattered, you can try to glue the pieces back together, but it will never be the same. The cracks will always be there. We have seen too much. We have seen our leaders lie, our institutions fail, and our democracy hang by a thread. To simply forget all of that and go back to blindly trusting them would be naive. It would be like forgiving a cheater without any evidence they've changed. We need more than just apologies. We need a fundamental change. This isn't just about partisan anger or political disagreement. This is a profound awakening. People are not just frustrated. They are enlightened. They have had the curtain pulled back and have seen the inner workings of power. And it's not a pretty sight. This is the real reason for the public's rage. It's the anger that comes from realizing you've been played. It's the frustration of knowing that the system you were told was fair is actually rigged. This new understanding is painful, but it's also powerful. It's the first step toward demanding something better, something more honest. We now understand that the authorities we once looked up to are not infallible. They are human, susceptible to greed, corruption, and the intoxicating allure of power. The belief that they were somehow above it all was a dangerous fantasy. We have been forced to confront the uncomfortable truth that our safety and our freedom are not guaranteed. They are fragile things that must be constantly fought for, not just against foreign enemies, but against domestic threats, even those within our own government. This is a heavy burden to carry, but it is the reality of our time. The loss of trust is the defining story of this era. It explains the anger, the division, and the deep sense of anxiety that permeates our society. We are a nation that has lost its faith. But perhaps this is not the end of the story. Perhaps this is the necessary, painful chapter that comes before a new beginning. We have been awakened to the truth, however ugly it may be. The public's frustration is not a sign of collapse, but a sign of life. It's the sound of a people who have realized their worth and are finally demanding the respect and the government they deserve. The trust may be gone, but the fight for a better future has just begun.